Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at Jixia Academy from Emperor S4 Games and Deep Water Games. Now, this is a game that is a re-implementation of Hanamikoji, a game that I have really expressed my liking of in the past. So let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So here I have a game of Jixia Academy set up for you, and basically the cards are dealt out. Each player receives 6 cards. One card is discarded at random from the game so that the level of mystery of one of the sets of cards that is attributed to these different scholars is missing one of the cards. Nobody knows which one that is, so there is that. Now, on your turn, you're going to be doing 2 different things. You're going to, first of all, draw a card from the deck and add it to your hand, and then you're going to accomplish one of these different actions. The first action is simply choosing a card from your hand, placing it face down underneath this token, and that card will be added to the scoring at the end of the round. The second action that you can take here is choosing 2 cards from your hand, setting them aside underneath this token, and they will not be scored during the round. That's what the X means there. The third possibility that you can choose is taking 3 cards from your hand and laying them face up on the table. Your opponent will take 1, and you will take the remaining 2. And then the fourth action that you could choose to take part in is choosing 4 cards at random, choosing 4 cards from your hand, putting them into 2 pairs. Your opponent will take one of the pairs and add them to their tableau. You will take the other pair and add it to your tableau. Now, the goal of the game is to gain the favor of 4 scholars, or have a total of, or be controlling rather, a total of 11 reputation points or more. So for example, I could control these 4 scholars here, and even though my reputation points don't add up to 11, I control 4 scholars. That would be a win condition for me. Or I could control the 5, the 4, and a 2. And since I don't control 4 scholars, but I do have 9, 11 reputation points of control, then that would also be a win condition. It is possible, of course, for you to obtain both win conditions at the same time. If at the end of a round, one person has 4 scholars and the other person has 11 reputation points or more, then it's the person who has the 11 or more reputation points would actually be the winner in that specific case. So just to play an opening hand here, basically this is what I'm going to start with my hand. I will draw a card and add it to my hand, and then I'm going to choose which one of these I'm going to score at the end of the game. So what I think I'll probably do is do something like this. I will choose one of these 5s here and flip it face over, and that means that's going to score at the end of the game for me. And then on my next turn, I'm going to go ahead and choose another card here and add it to my hand. And let's see here, I think I'm going to take these 2, and it might seem kind of weird. I'm going to take these 2 5s and flip them over, and those are not going to score at the end of the game. All right, and so that's that. Then it comes back to my turn again, and we're going to add this to my hand, and now I have to make some hard decisions. Let's go ahead and we're going to do the I split you choose mechanism, and we will choose, I'll choose to have these 3 cards placed out. My opponent will choose one of them. More than likely, I would imagine they're going to go ahead and choose the higher reputation score, and then we'll go ahead and choose these 2 as well. Because that actually gives them control over this, and this will also give me control over that. So he took the higher reputation one. So that one's finished. Now it's my opponent's turn again. Now it comes back to my turn again, and I'm going to draw a card. Ooh. Well, this is no bueno. I've got to split these up. And let's see here. This is one pair and this is the other pair. Now, what would my opponent choose to do? There's nothing played over here. He knows what he played over here, so he would definitely take this pair, I think. And do this. That locks in this guy for him. And then that will give me this one, which locks in the 4 for me and also gives me the 2 over here. And that's my last turn. My opponent will just take these 2. Their last action is those are not scored. And now we actually score the round. So the first thing we do here is we take these cards that are flipped over and we add them to what has actually happened here. All right, so we have those 2 5s right there. And then these are not scored. So here are the other 2 5s that could have won me that. And these here are a 4 and a 2, which wouldn't have helped him anymore anyway. So that's that. Now we score all of the different things that are here. He has won this one like so. So the favor token is moved over. This one is won by me, so this comes over here like this. This one is also won by me, so it comes there. This one is won by my opponent, so that comes over there. Also, this one is won by my opponent, and this one is won by me. And then this one over here is won by my opponent, so that comes over there. And that would be the end of the round. Now, what would happen here is that we would check to see if somebody won. And in this case, my opponent actually did win because he has 1, 2, 3, 4 scholars under his control, and I only have 3. And so they would have won the game that turn. But if nobody has won the game at the end of a round, you simply reset where all of these cards come back into the deck, including the one that was randomly gotten rid of at the beginning. They're all shuffled together. One is randomly taken out again. 6 card hands are dealt to each player, and you continue. Now, in subsequent rounds, let's say that the game did not end this way. If on a future round my opponent got more, this would actually travel all the way over like so. It would not just go back to the middle. So those are ways that you have to kind of make sure that you continue to control if possible, or try to take control over on a future round. So whoever has the most theory cards on their side of the scholars is going to be the one that has the favor. If there is a tie, for example, if I had right here, if he had 2 4s over here and I had 2 4s over here, then this would actually stay. It would not go back to neutral. You have to exceed your opponent's number of theory cards on your side of the table to win the favor of that scholar. So that's about that for Jixia Academy. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is re-implementation of Hanamikoji. And sometimes with re-implementations, you have some things that have changed. Not so here. Nothing has changed except for the artwork on the cards. The gameplay is exactly the same. And maybe the theme is a little bit more palatable for a wider range of people. Maybe that has something to do with the re-implementation. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with the last one, but this one is also good. The artwork is amazing, just like the original. So let's get to my pros and cons. Now, the way I'm kind of taking this is maybe a revisit of Hanamikoji, because quite frankly, this is Hanamikoji with just different artwork. That's what it really boils down to. So I'm coming back at it, and I wanted to see if this was going to be something that reinvigorated my liking of Hanamikoji, or if it kind of showed its age, so to speak. Maybe the luster has worn off a bit. So that's the undertone that's going here, okay? So my first pro is the artwork. Now, with Hanamikoji, the same thing is true here. The artwork is amazingly well done. The different characters, the different scholars that are depicted, there's 7 of them, all have great artwork. I think I might be a little bit partial to the original artwork, but that could just be a nostalgia factor that's kicking in there. On the back of the box, the art illustration is SFF and Jazz Chang, and the logo design and graphic design is Maisherly Chan. So I know Maisherly is the one that also worked on Hanamikoji. So the artwork is very, 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 very similar. At the very least, there are very subtle differences, but it's all good. So much like with Hanamikoji, this one is a great looking game. Second pro is the component quality. Now, while there was one kind of superfluous bit in here, and it had to do with some type of, it was the actual cardboard like standee of the Academy, I guess. It's not used in the game at all. It's just there as a piece on the table, and I don't see in the rules any use for it, so that was kind of cool, but it was unnecessary. I did like the favor tokens that came in this one better than the one that came in Hanamikoji. They were just those cool shaped, I don't know what they are, quills or swords or whatever they might be, but they were really neat looking things. I think those are they are what coins looked like back then. Or something to that effect, if I remember reading correctly in the rule. But everything is as good or better than Hanamikoji as far as the components are concerned. There might have been a little bit more of a linen finish on the Hanamikoji cards, but these were still very well done and look very nice as well. Gameplay has not changed at all. This is my third pro. I really enjoyed Hanamikoji and the gameplay that it gave, and the difficult decisions that that you had to make during the course of them, during the course of the game rather. So I'm happy that they didn't change anything. They just gave a different look to the game. The four choices that you have to make during the course of a round are the same as the four choices that you had to make during Hanamikoji. So it's all nothing has changed here, and I like that. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. They kept things the way they were and just went with it. Now, as far as my cons for the game are concerned, I really don't have many at all, but I do have one, and I think it really kind of plays the other side of the coin to the gameplay. The gameplay I really enjoy because it is very tense. It forces you to make decisions that you really don't want to make, but you have to make them. So you have to kind of choose the lesser of two evils almost in some case, because it's that I split you choose mechanism for two of the four actions. I like that a lot. It's very tension filled. It's almost anxiety inducing. And that's why I'm putting it as a very minor con for me on this one, because I can see where people will just find that uncomfortable. That level of tension that comes into the game with the different hard choices that you have to make. People just won't enjoy that very much. I've played people that understood the game, liked it, but had a feeling of uneasiness because of those difficult decisions that you have to make of giving your opponent first choice off of these two things. Now, of course, you have to be thinking ahead while you're doing that, and I'm not saying that the people who didn't like that weren't doing that, but I could tell that there was just this level of uneasiness, and some of them were like, oh, this makes me feel uneasy, but I like it. And other people were like, oh, this makes me feel uneasy. I don't know if I want to play this game again. And so that's why it's a little bit of a minor con. It's a divisive mechanism that some people will really, really enjoy. I'm one of those. And some people just really, really won't. And so that's why I'm putting it as a con here. It's a minor con for me, but it might be a major one for other people, because I know there's a lot of mechanisms out there that other people really enjoy and I really don't enjoy. So the table has to be flipped there, you know what I'm saying? So that's my con for the game. So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and stay with 8 out of 10 that I gave to Hanamikoji. I'm just going to transfer that right over to Jixia Academy, just because I think it's a great game. They didn't change it. They just reskinned it, so to speak, put some new fresh artwork, new characters on the cards, and left the gameplay, which did not need to be changed, alone. And I like that. I like it a lot. So 8 out of 10 for me for Jixia Academy from Emperor S4 Games and Deepwater Games. Thanks for joining me. We certainly appreciate it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.